What's going on, everyone? Welcome back into the channel. You may have been wondering where in the world I've been. Just got back from Hawaii this morning, still dealing with all of the jet lag. So that's why there hasn't been content here on this channel since the loss to the Philadelphia Eagles and the win against the New York Giants yesterday in week 11, but now I am officially back and excited to be back, talk Green Bay Packers football, and break down this week 11 victory 27-20 over the New York Giants, now putting the Packers at 6-3-1 and second in the NFC North. So if you are coming by to the channel to see my views on this game, do appreciate you guys stopping by. Again, apologies for it being a little bit late here. Again, I just got back this morning from my week-long vacation, so really appreciate you guys being patient and sticking around and still coming back to the channel as well. So I really appreciate that, and if you want to stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers, I'd highly suggest going down and hitting the subscribe button. You won't regret it. Guys, I wanted to take a minute and give a big thank you to Mint Mobile for sponsoring today's video. Guys, I'm a huge fan of Mint Mobile simply because it's a cell carrier that works. Mint has completely reimagined the wireless shopping experience. That means no stores, no salespeople. Everything's easy and online to do. All plans include unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. Mint also allows you to choose the data size that fits you the best, so don't overpay for something that you simply do not need. You can select from 5 gigabytes, 15, 20, or even unlimited. And guys, one of my favorite thing about Mint Mobile is when you make the switch, you get to keep your phone number. I've had the same phone number my entire life, so this is very, very important to me. And you also keep all your existing contacts when you switch. And it's so easy to sign up and activate in minutes with eSIM from the comfort of your home. And 96% of customers rate themselves very satisfied with Mint's customer care. And to top it all off, all Mint's plans come with a 7-day money-back guarantee. So guys, if you're looking to make a switch for a limited time this holiday season, you can get 50% off an unlimited premium plan with Mint. Lock in Mint's lowest price of the year and pay just $15 a month for 3, 6, or a 12-month plan. So guys, go click the link down in the description or simply scan the QR code on the screen to take advantage of this limited time offer this holiday season. That's 50% off an unlimited premium wireless plan from Mint. Again, a big thank you to Mint for sponsoring today's video. All right, so now back into the video. Packers win this one, week 11, 27-20 over the New York Giants in MetLife. And after a loss against the Philadelphia Eagles and a win here, it's a pretty tight win actually against the New York Giants, I think we're still sitting here and wondering, where does this football team stand and what can we get out of this football team moving forward? And I think honestly, their best football is yet to come. I think there's a lot of mistakes that still have to be cleaned up. Of course, there's been a lot of injuries, Tucker Kraft, Elton Jenkins, and there's a lot of things that still need to be hashed out. But you do see the potential, right? You do see it with this football team. There's a lot of issues, but in the end of the day, you know, still being 6-3-1, second in your division, with all the issues and injuries the Green Bay Packers have had, that much it is impressive. And getting a tight victory here against a banged up Giants team in MetLife, you know, you would have liked to see a bigger victory here, only by 7 points, but a win is a win, and I'll take that every day of the week. And now moving forward, the Packers have 3 straight divisional games after not having one since week 1 against the Lions versus the Vikings this upcoming week, then at Detroit for Thanksgiving, then back to Lambeau for the Bears first week of December. We're going to learn where this football team stands over the next 3 weeks. Whereas, you know, the past 4 to 5 weeks, it's been confusing. You know, we've had great games, we've had terrible games, we've had so-so games. But now we're going to really learn, you know, the outlook of this football team over these next 3 weeks, these divisional games. But nonetheless, let's dive right down into this game. And let's start on the offense for the Green Bay Packers. Yet another game where we score 27 points. That marks 5 of our 6 wins are all scoring 27 points. For some reason, 27 has been the lucky number for the Green Bay Packers this year. And when you take a look at this game and just at box score, which I'm sure a lot of outside perspective non-Packers fans are doing, and they look at Jordan Love and they go, wow, he didn't have a good game. this does not show the whole picture. His box score by no means shows the whole picture, and I honestly think it was one of Jordan Love's best games as a Green Bay Packer. He was extremely accurate. He was finding holes in the defense consistently. There was just so many drops. Love finished 13 of 24, 174 yards, 7.3 average, 2 touchdowns, did get sacked twice, had a quarterback rating of 105.2. Even had to check out of this game with a shoulder injury after lowering his shoulder on a quarterback run. Malik Willis came in, filled in nicely, completed 2 passes for 6 yards, a really nice touchdown pass to Christian Watson. It feels so nice to have Malik Willis as the backup and feel comfortable that if Jordan Love does have to check out for a drive or two, even a game, I still think we can win football games with Malik Willis. But we are a better football team with Jordan Love at quarterback, and that was on full showcase in this game. Like I said, without the drops, man, Jordan Love's stat line would have been pretty ridiculous. I actually saw it on Twitter from Dusty Evely, who also makes some terrific Packers content. He put up a chart basically showing that, okay, Jordan Love's official stat line was 13 of 24, 174, 54.2 completion percentage, 7.3 yards per attempt. But with no drops, he would have been 19 of 24, 266 yards, nearly 80% completion percentage, and an 11.1 yards per attempt. So the Packers need to clean up these drops. We saw Dobbs with 2 crucial drops, one being on such a huge third down that Jordan Love, extended time in the pocket, found Dobbs over the middle, wide open, and he drops it. We had Tay Wicks with a drop. We had Bo Melton with a drop on 4th down. Even Christian Watson with a, drop on the sideline. So many drops in this game, and Musgrave with a drop. There's so many self-inflicting wounds with this offense, and that's why I fully believe that their best football is ahead of them, because they will clean this up, in my belief. I think this will get cleaned up. We'll have Jaden Reed return at some point. A lot of stuff does have to get hashed out. One thing that is definitely concerning is the tight end position. Luke Musgrave was slated to take over the starting tight end spot. I had my reservations about that. You guys know when I made the video talking about the Tucker Kraft injury and how Luke Musgrave couldn't be farther from what Tucker Kraft was for this offense. And that showed in this game, because he was actually 3rd in terms of snap count in this game. John Fitzpatrick had the most snaps at tight end, 35 snaps, 64%. Josh Wiley, who scored a touchdown in this game, somehow got his first Packers touchdown before Matthew Golden. He had 36% of snaps, and Luke Musgrave had 35% of snaps. Now, a little bit earlier today, Matt LaFleur talked about Luke Musgrave, and he said he is a guy we have to get on the field, and he wasn't benched in the second half on Sunday. I think it was kind of how the game played out, and I already kind of addressed it. He absolutely needs to play more than whatever snaps he played in the second half, so we'll make sure that happens. But at the same time, I think he was taken off the field for the right reasons. He wasn't really offering much for this offense, and now there's just a big gaping hole at this tight end position without Tucker Kraft here. And I really wish the Packers made a move at the trade deadline to trade for someone, like Michael Mayer or Chiggy Okonkwo or someone of that sort that could maybe just dampen the blow a little bit at this tight end position. Because when you look at the tight end position in this game, Fitzpatrick, 1 catch for 5 yards, Wiley, 1 catch for 2 yards, and Musgrave, 1 catch for -1 yard. The tight end position was the leading receiver in terms of Tucker Kraft for this offense. Has pretty much been completely removed from the offense at this rate, because we don't have anyone that can fill that role right now. As for other receivers on the team, Romeo Doubs led the team, 4 catches, 53 yards, but it was definitely a huge day for Christian Watson. I would consider him the best receiver of the day, with Doubs with multiple drops. Watson had 4 catches, 46 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Watson just continues to make huge play after huge play, and he had the most snaps as a wide receiver, so we can fully say that Christian Watson is back. He's not on a snap count anymore, and right now I think is the number 1 wide receiver of the Packers. I feel like he's the guy that, if we're taking a shot downfield, one-on-one opportunity, he's the guy you need to go to, and he's going to come down with the football a lot of the time. Now, Matthew Golden did have 1 catch for 24 yards. It was a play-action scramble drill to the left. Love found him on the left side. He did get targeted a couple other times. 1 deep ball to the left side that resulted in PI. Another deep ball to the right side that I thought Golden should have caught. I thought it was a terrific throw to the outside. He just misjudged it in the air, and it was a windy day, so that makes sense. But I still think Matthew Golden, still needs to get more work downfield. I like them targeting him twice deep downfield. Good things happen when you target someone like Matthew Golden deep downfield, so I'm glad they did that. Tay Wicks targeted twice, had a catch for 9 yards, had a drop on the left side. Thought he would maybe step up, a little bit here. Malik Heath weirdly held out of this game, didn't travel with the team due to a coach's decision. Not really sure why that was. If anyone knows, let me know down in the comments below. Not really sure. But then Bo Melton got some work on offense. He had a run of 17 yards. I think he played 2 or 3 offensive snaps. Outside of that, for receiving, not much else to talk about. Manuel Wilson had a catch for 9 yards. Josh Jacobs didn't have a single catch, and Josh Jacobs also checked out of this game with a knee injury after having 7 carries for 40 yards and a really nice day running. I really liked what the Packers did in the running game. I feel like they were moving the Giants front 7 down low early and often. Manuel Wilson stepped in nicely after Josh Jacobs finished with 11 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Again, Bo Melton had a run of 17. Malik Willis even had a design quarterback run of 16. Chris Brooks had a run of 8. So the team overall finished 23 carries for 128 yards, a really nice 5.6 average, and also a touchdown. So really liked seeing the running game get going here, something that the Packers really haven't been able to do as of late. And I thought it was a terrific day by the interior offensive line, and that's something I haven't really been able to say. I thought Aaron Banks had a really nice day. Sean Ryan filling in at center now for Elton Jenkins for the rest of the season. And even Jordan Morgan at right guard. I think it was overall a really solid day and bounce back day for this offensive line in the run game and also pass protection. I almost forgot about Savion Williams' awesome catch in this game where we really needed it on that third down. Love extended the play, rolled left, pretty much told Savion to find an open spot down the field, and he made a very impressive and contested catch, for 33 yards up the left side of the field. And I think he only played about 3 snaps in this game on offense. And actually look right now, Savion Williams, he played actually 2 snaps, only 4% of the snaps. I thought he'd play more without Malik Heath traveling with the team. But when he was out in the field, he made a very, very big play. Overall, the Packers scoring 27. When you score 27 points, it should be enough to win football games. And I thought the play calling in this game was much better than it's been the past few games. I think Matt LaFleur finally kind of went back to his roots a little bit. Some more under center, some more play action, some better route concepts, less sideline to sideline or horizontal behind the line of scrimmage type plays. And again, it's a lot easier and it looks a lot better when your quarterback is dealing like Jordan Love did in this game. He was super accurate. He was methodical. And without the drops, it would have been statistically one of his best games as a Packer. But overall, when you look at it and you watch the game and watch the film, I think it was one of his best games as a Green Bay Packer. And man, Toyotathon hasn't even begun because that starts this week. And if Jordan Love's playing like this before Toyotathon, can't wait to see what Toyotathon brings for Love. All right, so now I want to talk about this Green Bay Packers defense. Quickly, before we do so, big shout out to Sleeper for being this year's channel sponsor. Link down in the description. Check out Sleeper to make your pick. Use code BASS to make a first-time deposit. Get that matched 100% up to $100. Here are my picks for tonight's game. Cowboys versus Raiders Monday Night Football. We have a free pick. Sleeper often offers free picks for primetime games. Dak Prescott, more than a half a passing yard. I have CeeDee Lamb, more than 6.5 receptions. I have Javonte Williams, more than 75.5 rushing yards, and I have Ashton Genty with an anytime touchdown. You can fade my bet, tail my bet, or make your own over on Sleeper. Definitely go give them a look. Use code BASS when signing up. Big shout out to Sleeper. All right, so let's talk about this defense. Now, going into this game, even last week, when I saw Jackson Dart went down with a concussion, I'm like, this is 100% going to be the game that they finally turn to Jameis Winston. And of course, it's going to be against the Green Bay Packers. We know Jameis has had some pretty crazy games against us. That week 1 a few years back against the Saints, where he had, 450 yards passing, like 5 touchdowns. I mean, tore us a new one on defense. And I was worried that, Jameis was going to find success against our defense. And, he sort of did. He didn't have a great game overall, ended the game with an interception in a typical Jameis fashion. But he had more success than I think Russell Wilson would have had. And honestly, Jameis, he's played a lot of football in his career, and the dude can play quarterback. I love watching him play, and I was worried about him from time to time, but the Giants are so banged up. Like, no Cam Scatterbo, no Malik Neighbors, and that's just, the start of all the injuries they have on this football team. And I think the Packers defense should have found more success against this Giants offense. I don't think we should have allowed 20 points. Jameis finished the day 19 of 29, 201 yards, which is decent considering, it's Jameis Winston. You'd expect him to throw the ball a little bit more. 6.9 average, didn't throw a touchdown. Of course, had the interception, which we'll talk about. Was only sacked 2 times. It seems like a reoccurring theme, and both of which Micah Parsons was involved in. It seems like a reoccurring theme the past few weeks. The Packers just aren't getting enough pressure. And I think they're not sending pressure either. I think they're the lowest in terms of amount of pressure sent. And I think Jeff Hafley needs to send a little bit more pressure, maybe give a little bit more cover one looks with some pressure looks. And he does send pressure from time to time. And obviously it's better if you can just get home with your front 4 or 5 and drop the rest in coverage and put yourself in a better position, defensively in terms of coverage. But sometimes you got to just pressure a quarterback right off the rip, right off the snap, get a free rusher, run some more stunts. Haven't really seen much of Edgerrin Cooper pressuring or rushing the quarterback. We saw a ton of it last year. Now they're kind of using, Micah Parsons in that A-gap role on third downs. Why not both? I just think we need to, see the quarterback on the ground more. And we should, considering who we have on this defense. And one thing that I noticed looking at the snap count in this game is that Kingsley Enagbare, for the second week in a row, has more snaps than Rashawn Gary. I don't know if it's a conditioning thing or a schematic thing, just wanting someone like Enagbare, who's more of that, edge-setting, run-defending guy out there. I'm not sure. But with the amount of money you're paying Rashawn Gary, you would expect him to get more than 39 snaps, 54%, where we have Enagbare at 56%. We have Micah Parsons at 85%, which that's perfect. I think that's like a perfect amount for him. But you would expect Rashawn Gary to be above 60% and above Enagbare. Now, don't get me wrong, Enagbare is a fine player and definitely makes plays from time to time. But again, with the amount of money you're paying Rashawn Gary, and he started the year off so strong, he needs to be out on the field. And I think, with the return of Lucas Van Ness, that will help. But Rashawn Gary needs to be out on the field, and I'm not really sure why Enagbare is for the second week now out snapping him. As for the running attack for the New York Giants, Packers run game still a little bit iffy in the trenches, letting up some big runs on some first downs. Tyrone Tracy finished 19 carries, 88 yards, a 4.6 average. We got to get better in the run defense realm. Devin Singletary, we held him in check, even though he had both of their running touchdowns near the goal line. He had 16 carries, 44 yards, only a 2.8 average. Jameis had a few carries for 10 yards. Overall, the Giants ran the ball a ton. 38 carries, 142 yards, but averaged out to 3.7 per carry. You'll live by that, especially when you score 27 points. It's better that the other team's running the ball so much. But teams continue to try to do this. They're trying to play keep away from the Packers. They're simply trying to have 7 to 8 minute drives, keep the ball out of the Packers' offensive hands, tire down the Packers' bend but don't break defense, and hopefully punch it into the end zone at the end of that drive, which the Giants did 3 separate times. Obviously, that wasn't enough with the Packers' offense scoring 27. But I think the Packers need to kind of sell out a little bit more against the run to stop teams from draining the clock over and over and over and playing keep away from the Green Bay Packers offense, which clearly that's been on tape the last few weeks, and that's what teams are trying to replicate, what the Carolina Panthers basically did. As for the Giants receiving, I figure someone like Isaiah Hodgins would be like their leading receiver. 5 catches, 57 yards. Tracy was second, 4 catches, 51 yards. So many screens, man. The Packers could not get out of their own damn way on third down. Multiple times the Giants ran screen plays, perfectly placed when the Packers finally sent pressure, because it was very easy to tell when they were going to on a third down, and the Giants called a perfectly placed screen, and it a lot of the time went for a first down, especially on that 3rd and 15. Edgerrin Cooper, brutal missed tackle. He's kind of had an issue with that this year. Got to clean that up, but I wish the Packers would have been more ready on third down to get off the field and give their defense a breathe. Theo Johnson, 3 for 36, not bad considering the Packers usually are pretty terrible against tight ends. Wandale, 4 for 36, Jalen Hyatt, 2 for 18, and Devin Singletary, 1 for 3 yards. Now, one thing when you take a look at this defense in this game, and it was their first game with two takeaways. We had the strip sack at the end with Micah Parsons and also the interception at the end with Evan Williams. Evan Williams had a terrific game. I think it was an awesome day from the safety room. And also Javon Bullard, who's quietly having a terrific season, in my opinion. But one thing that you noticed in this game was so many missed takeaway opportunities. We had Carrington Valentine drop 2 easy interceptions. We had Javon Bullard have an interception and Isaiah McDuffie just slams into him and knocks it out of his hands. We had Keyshawn Nixon almost have an interception, and then Xavier McKinney tips it late on that deep post double coverage. And I'm probably missing another one, but so many opportunities for takeaways, and they will come. Like, the Packers are putting themselves in a position to get these takeaways. They just haven't finished them. They haven't executed at the end. Valentine is playing some great football, and I think over the last 2 weeks, he's allowed like 2 catches for 15 yards. He's playing some wonderful football. If he starts turning what he's doing, into interceptions, he can become easily this team's number 1 cornerback, because the guy breaks on the football really well. He's playing read and react defense very, very well. And I loved what I've been seeing from Carrington Valentine. And honestly, Hobbs being out has kind of helped this defense a little bit. That's just kind of how poor he has been playing. And it's just kind of forced the Packers' hand with Carrington Valentine, which is a good thing, because I think we can all collectively agree guy deserves to be out on the field, especially when he's making plays like he has been. But he does need to, complete these pass breakups into full interceptions. But overall, I'm okay with the defensive performance. Again, I don't think the Giants should have scored 20 points. And if you execute these turnovers, they wouldn't have. So I think that will come. I think the Packers defense, again, its best football is ahead of them. I think overall this Packers team, its best football is ahead of them. Some other news, Lucas Haversick was our kicker this week after McManus popped up on the injury report, I believe, Friday, and was listed as doubtful. Kind of made you question what in the world was he doing out there the past few weeks after missing so many kicks, and we're all going, yes, Haversick's back. And then he misses 2 PATs in this game. But give him the benefit of the doubt, very windy day. Giants kicker Younghoe Koo also missed, I think, a PAT or 2. I think just 1. I think going forward, we still stick with Haversick until McManus is 100% healthy. And I think we can all agree on that. But it's been rough on special teams, man. It's been rough all around on special teams outside of Daniel Whelan, and if we're being honest. But again, it was a windy day. I look for a nice bounce back against the Vikings this week, given I think it will be Haversick yet again. As for some injury updates, Josh Jacobs left this game with a knee contusion issue or injury. It's not deemed to be long-term. It could hold him out this upcoming week against the Vikings, but knowing how Josh Jacobs is, I think he'll end up playing. It's just it's dependent on swelling. He just banged his knee on the very hard MetLife field, which tends to be a reoccurring theme, and that field needs to be blown into the sun. But yeah, outside of that, Quay Walker left the game with a stinger injury. That's considered day-to-day, should be available against the Vikings. And Jordan Love, we saw him leave for the drive with a shoulder issue, went back and got x-rays in the locker room. They came back negative. So basically just a sore shoulder, his left shoulder, that he's going to navigate this week, but don't expect him to miss any bit of practice. So overall, it was a tough game. A pretty sloppy game overall. Tons of drops on offense, dropped interceptions on defense, injuries and whatnot. Packers still figuring this thing out, but getting a win is very important in this situation. Still remaining second in the NFC North, now to the nasty, nasty Bears at the top, even though they have a negative point differential somehow at the top of the NFC North. It does feel nice to see the Lions there at third after they were just laughing at us being at third after last week. But now we got 3 straight divisional games, and we're really going to see what this football team is made out of, right? 2 of which being at home is great, Vikings and Bears, but that one, Thanksgiving in Detroit, Packers could make a statement there, kind of like they did week 1. If the Packers can end up 2-1 out of these divisional games, I'm happy. If they can somehow end up 3-0 after these divisional games, at that point, I'm going to be sitting here going, we're going to take the North. But there's 3 football games to be played before we can even start thinking about that. All divisional. And then in the next 5 weeks, Bears yet again on that 5th week there. So a lot of divisional games remaining on the back half of this schedule, making it a tough one. But again, this is where you find out what your football team's made of, and we will find out with the Green Bay Packers. But really appreciate you guys stopping by to the channel again. Apologies for being away for the past week. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for still coming by to the channel a day after this game. We will resume our regular programming the rest of this week. I'll do PFF tomorrow, injury reports, game preview, game live stream on Sunday. So we're back in action. let's get this thing rolling. Really appreciate you guys coming by. I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, go Pack Go.